Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Stalwart Initiative. I'm Kyle, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Bard subclass College of Creation in the new Unearthed Arcana for D&D 5e. This Unearthed Arcana the subclass is contained within the Unearthed Arcana 2020 subclasses Part 2, also containing a Cleric subclass and a Sorcerer subclass, which we will take a look at in their individual videos coming up very soon. But today we're here to take a look at the College of Creation, the new Bard subclass. It has me pretty intrigued, so let's take a look. So the College of Creation, these bards believe that the multiverse was given existence through word and sound, esoteric harmonies that continue to resound through existence, the song of creation. The bards of this college draw on this ancient power through performances of dance, music, or song to bring into being what they need most. Members of this college might have developed their powers during experiences on other worlds or planes of existence. Those who have seen the commonalities of multiple realities might have learned how to tap into the truths most mortals glimpse only for a moment. Alternatively, the bard might find themselves out of step with their own home plane, reality, or time, their connections to elsewhere allowing them to manipulate the space around them. Regardless of where a bard draws their power from, other performers might be drawn to them either to learn their secrets or to put an end to their dangerous manipulation of the song of creation. So this bard already sounds kind of out there, not the atypical travel from one place to another or sing it up bard. This could be another worldly bard or just a bard that has experienced more than normal people should or would. So let's take a look at the features. So with bard subclasses, each subclass has features at 3rd level, 6th level, and 14th level. And what we'll do is we'll take a look at the features of this subclass, and we'll put them against a detailed look against the other subclasses that are already available for D&D 5e. This is going to be kind of a deep dive. Let me know in the comments below after the video. Let me know if you like this in-depth look and comparison, or if you'd rather have it kind of shrunk down some. That's why I'm doing each of these subclasses by themselves, just to get a feel for what you guys want and how much information you want me to give and not draw on. Speaking of not drawing on, let's get right into it. So at 3rd level, you get the 3rd level feature, Note of Potential. You can manipulate the song of creation to summon a floating musical note of possibility. Whenever you give a creature a Bardic Inspiration die, you can create a note of potential. The note orbits within 5 feet of the creature. The note is a tiny object that is intangible and invulnerable, and it lasts until the Bardic Inspiration die is lost. A creature with a note can use it in the following ways. So already, you're giving Bardic Inspiration as normal, and it's creating this little thing, and it's giving the recipient options, which is already great to give them the options, have multiple uses for this note. So it can be the Note of Destruction. Immediately after the creature rolls the Bardic Inspiration die to add it to an attack roll, the creature can expend the note to create a burst of sound. Each other creature within 5 feet of it must succeed on a Constitution saving throw against your spell save DC or take thunder damage equal to the number rolled on the Bardic Inspiration die. So at 3rd level, this is a pretty decent feature. It allows them to give AoE thunder damage, which thunder damage isn't resisted very often, so that's cool. Unfortunately, it's not going to scale the greatest. With your Bardic Inspiration die only going up every several levels, only going up 1 die size. It's nice. It's extra damage, and it's AoE, so you can hit multiple targets, and it's their choice to do that. So if they use it for an attack, you have this option. The Note of Protection. Immediately after the creature rolls the Bardic Inspiration die and adds it to a saving throw, the creature can expend the note to gain temporary hit points equal to the number rolled on the Bardic Inspiration die, plus your Charisma modifier, provided the creature doesn't already have temporary hit points. This one is extremely useful. So they get the Bardic Inspiration, and they also gain temporary hit points, as long as they don't have some already, because temporary hit points doesn't stack. So that's decent. So you get the die's worth plus your charisma modifier. So typically 2 to 5, depending on what level you are and how much you have in charisma. But yeah, that's nice. That's a nice little touch. Added temporary hit points. So that's cool. The last one is Note of Ingenuity. When the creature rolls the Bardic Inspiration die to add it to an ability check, the creature can expend the note to roll the Bardic Inspiration die again and choose which roll to use. So this is nice. It gives you advantage on any ability check. So if they use this for an ability check, let's say initiative. Initiative is an ability check. So initiative, skill checks, they get advantage on that roll. Could be pretty clutch. So I like that they give you options, or they give the recipient options to use the die. So very nice, and a very nice touch. And as we'll see, as we compare these to some of the other subclasses. So I wrote down the other subclasses, the other 5 available in D&D 5e. The ones that are currently published are the Lore Bard and Valor Bard from the Player's Handbook, the original bards. And then from Xanathar's Guide, there's the Glamour Bard, the Swords Bard, and the Whispers Bard. College of all those things. So the Lore Bard at level 3 gets cutting words. So every bard has a special way they can manipulate their bardic inspiration. For the Lore Bard, it's cutting words. You can use your inspiration to negatively affect an opponent or a creature, to negatively affect one of their rolls. And they also get bonus proficiencies. So a lot of bards at level 3 will get bonus proficiencies to help them with whatever they're focusing on. But the Creation Bard, the College of Creation, doesn't have that. All it has is the Note of Potential, but again, it has multiple choice uses, which is nice. So the Lore Bard will get 3 extra proficiency and 3 extra skills. So the Lore Bard, as I've always said since 5e came out, I really like the Lore Bard. It's so versatile, great class, great representation of the Bard. The Valor Bard gets combat inspiration, so they can add the die to a damage roll. The recipient can add it to a damage roll or their AC. AC could be really clutch at dodging certain attacks. But other than that, they get proficiency in medium armor, shields, and martial weapons. So you can already tell the Valor Bard is going to be getting in the thick of it themselves, as well as trying to boost someone else in combat. The Glamour Bard gets Mantle of Inspiration, which gives temporary hit points to an AoE temporary hit point thing, a much broader one than the Note of Protection from this Bard, and also allows all the recipients of that to, up to their Charisma modifier, to be able to get out of the way, to run their speed away without provoking attacks of opportunity, potentially saving your party members from certain doom. What else? They also get Enthralling Presence at level 3, and that basically lets them perform for a minute, and if targets are listening to the whole entire performance, then you have a chance to charm them, and yeah, that's pretty cool. So they get 2 features as well. So College of Creation's only getting technically the one feature. It is nice that they have choices, but they are only getting 1 feature at level 3. The Swords Bard gets their Blade Flourishes, which is their kind of focus on their using their bardic inspiration, and that's kind of a one to boost their attacks, add damage and special functions, which they also get choices with. And their bonus proficiencies are with medium armor and scimitars. And they also get a third thing, a minor feature, which is they get to pick a fighting style from dueling and 2-weapon fighting. That's nice because they're going to be, they're all focused about getting up in the enemy's face. So survival is key for the Swords Bard. The College of Whispers, they get Psychic Blades for their main bardic inspiration function, which is essentially like a smite or a it's essentially like a little mini smite. It starts out at 2d6. You can add 2d6 psychic damage to your attack, or it kind of equivalent to also like a sneak attack for a rogue. That scales pretty well, especially for a bard at the highest level. I think it's 15th level. It's up to like 8d6 psychic damage, which is really nice, but you are using your bardic inspiration for that. Much like the Glamour Bard, the College of Whispers Bard also at 3rd level gets the the minute thing. So if you instead of performing for a minute, if you interrogate somebody for a minute by yourself, if just you and that creature alone, then you can try to, or it will make them frightened if they fail to save. And the great part about those kind of features is that even if it doesn't work, they don't know that you were trying to do it. So that's pretty cool. So that's all of the third level features. As far as how that stacks up, the Note of Potential is, I think, a great use of Bardic Inspiration because it has options, versatile options. The fact that they don't get any other secondary features at third level kind of puts them behind a couple of the other subclasses, the other Bard subclasses. But still, I think it's a solid start. A lot of the Bard classes features are baked into the class itself, so the subclasses are a supplement to that more than focusing mainly on the subclass. So at 6th level, our feature for the College of Creation is Animating Performance. Your mastery over the Song of Creation allows you to magically bring items to life. As an action, you can target a large or smaller non-magical item you can see within 30 feet of you and animate it. The animate item uses the dancing item stat block, which we'll see in a minute, and is under your control for 1 hour or until it is reduced to 0 hit points. In combat, the item shares your initiative count, but it takes its turn immediately after yours. It can move and use its reaction on its own, but the only action it can take on its turn is the dodge action, unless you take a bonus action on your turn to command it to take one of the actions in its stat block, or dash, disengage, help, hide, or search. So, let's read the rest of it. When you use your Bardic Inspiration feature, you can command which action your animated item takes as a part of the same bonus action. Once you animate an item with this feature, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest or until you expend a spell slot of 3rd level or higher to use this feature. You can have only one item animated by this feature at any time. If you use this action and already have a dancing item from this feature, the first one immediately becomes inanimate. I really like this. This is a very versatile and just cool, just plain out effing cool option for a 6th level feature. So you already you're using your bonus action to do this. Well, let me rephrase this. You're using your action to do it. So it does take an action to do this, but if you use your bonus action to use your Bardic Inspiration, you can also, in that turn, still use the animated object to do its thing, to command it to do its thing. So that's great. That's not pigeonholing it into making it 2 separate turns. And much like with the Artificer, I also have some reviews with the Artificer up, and a couple more to come, so check out the channel for those. It's telling you that it's laying it out the same way. It doesn't take your turn, its turn is right after yours, and you use your bonus action to command what it does. Otherwise, it just chills out and takes a dodge action. I like it. I really do. And it gives so it lasts an hour, or until it dies. It gives a long-term length of time for you to be using your bonus action other than doing your Bardic Inspiration. I really like this feature. And let's take a look at the dancing item stat block. So it's a larger, smaller construct. It's neutral. Its AC is 16, which is a decent AC, especially compared to some other like familiars and stuff. Its hit points are equal to the dancing item's Constitution modifier, which at base is 3, plus your Charisma modifier, plus 5 times your level in this class. So automatically at 6th level when you get this, its Constitution modifier is 3, plus your Charisma modifier. Let's say lowballing, it's 2. So 3 plus 2 is 5, and then 5 times your level. So 5 times your level at 6th level is 30. So 35 hit points at pretty much the lowest starting out. So that is a pretty nice, that's a nice little companion your dancing item is giving you. Plus its speed is 40 feet, which is nice. It can move fast. Its stats are 18 strength, 14 dex, 16 con, 4 intelligence, 10 wisdom, and 6 charisma. So these stats are pretty decent stats for a familiar-like creature. It is immune to poison. It's poison damage. It's also immune to conditions like charmed, exhaustion, poisoned, and frightened. It has 60-foot dark vision and a passive perception of 10, and it understands languages you speak, which is nice. It does have the Endless Waltz feature, so immediately after the item makes a slam attack, which is its only attack, it can take the dodge action as a bonus action. This is fantastic. So you have your dancing around little animate object, and for its turn, it's going to attack and it's going to dodge in the same turn. Great for survivability. Great. Immutable form, much like some of these other types of imbued objects. The item is immune to any spell or effect that would alter its form. So that's great. They're not going to be messing with your new little furniture buddy. So the actions it has, which requires your bonus action to do, is your Force Empowered Slam. It's a melee weapon attack, and it uses your spell attack modifier, which is a plus, because it'll scale better. It has a reach of 5 feet, and you can target one target you can see, and you do 1d10 hit points, plus your charisma modifier of force damage. This is already better than a lot of familiar type creatures. 1d10 plus your charisma mod and its force damage. Great. I think this is all around a great 6th level feature. So to compare that with some 6th level features from the other bards, the lower bard gets additional magical secrets, which is gives you 2 spells from any spell list. Granted, that is clutch. Like, this is a great feature. I'm already liking this bard, but additional magical secrets is you can never go wrong with that. You're cherry picking spells from other classes. That's a great feature. So lower bard, again, awesome. The Valor bard gets an extra attack. Meh. I mean, it's great because you're a Valor bard and you want to be attacking. It's just meh. I mean, it's an extra attack. It's just a little lackluster. That's all. The Glamour bard gets Mantle of Majesty, and it's basically you go into a state, and as a bonus action you can cast Command each turn for a minute, and it'll reset on a long rest. That's pretty cool. That could come in use, and plus it's you can do it throughout combat, which is nice. The Swords bard also gets an extra attack, like the Valor bard. They really need it. They're up into melee as well, more so than the Valor bard, because the Valor bard can go with ranged weapons. The Swords bard, you really want to get in there. And the College of Whispers bard is Mantle of Whispers, and that allows you, I love this one, it allows you to absorb, as your reaction, absorb somebody's shadow, a humanoid shadow that dies, around you. You can absorb their shadow and kind of keep it for a while, and then you can use that shadow to take on the form of that person who died, but also look like it's a fresh them, and then learn a lot of their surface memories. Oh, so good. RP wise, so good. I've yet to be able to use this. So looking forward to using that feature. So how it stacks up, I think the Animating Performance is a fantastic 6th level ability, much better than some other bards. Aside from the Lore bard, I think is the most powerful option there. But yeah, it's up there. I like it. So let's go on to their 14th level ability. So at 14th level, they get Performance of Creation. Your performance can manipulate the magic of creation, briefly transforming the world around you. As an action, you create one non-magical item of your choice in an unoccupied space within 10 feet of you. The item must appear on a surface or in a liquid that can support it. The gold piece value of the item can't be more than 20 times your bard level and must be large or smaller. Tiny, glimmering, intangible notes float around it, and a creature can faintly hear music when touching it. For examples of items you can create, see the armor, weapons, adventuring gear, tools, and mounts, and vehicles tables in Chapter 5 in the player's handbook. The created item disappears at the end of your next turn, unless you use your action to maintain it. Each time you use your action in this way, the item's duration is extended to the end of the next turn, up to a maximum of 1 minute. If you maintain the item for the full minute, it continues to exist for a number of hours equal to your bard level. Once you create an item with this feature, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest or until you expend a spell slot of 5th level or higher to use this feature. You can only have one item created by this feature at any time. if you use this action and already have an item from this feature, the first one immediately vanishes. So one thing I want to touch on that I forgot to mention with the performance, or I'm sorry, the 6th level feature, Animating Performance, is that you can, not only do you get this feature every long rest, you can use a spell slot to use it beyond that, which is very nice. It's not limiting you to the number of uses just to one, which is kind of a bore, in my opinion, for a lot of abilities and functions of classes. So with the 6th level ability, you got to use 3rd level spell slots. This one will require 5th. Now, this is a useful feature and can be gamed for RP purposes. You know, you can use it to make weapons and armor. You can use it to make things and then sell them. And the great thing about it is, so basically, if you maintain this for a minute, you get it for amount of hours equal to your bard level, which whenever you get this feature, it's for your 14th level anyway. So you're getting it over 14 hours as long as nothing interrupts you from doing that minute. So this could be very beneficial, and you can also use this to make money and game the system. Also get a weapon, make a weapon available when no one has any weapons. That's also cool. That's useful. But as a 14th level, like your capstone subclass ability, it's okay. That's okay. Let's take a look at the other 14th level from the other subclasses, the other bard subclasses. So the lower bard gets Peerless Skill, and that one basically lets them use their inspiration for themselves to do ability checks. That's actually not that's kind of a, in my opinion anyway, not the greatest 14th level as well, but the lower bard is so damn good otherwise that's fine. It's useful. It's useful, and they can do it on themselves, not requiring somebody else. Also cool. The Valor Bard gets Battle Magic, and that allows them to make a bonus attack whenever they cast a spell with their action. They can use a bonus action to make an attack. That's kind of lackluster for a 14th level ability as well. Just my opinion. The Glamour Bard gets Unbreakable Majesty, and that allows them to... what one is that? Save to attack, fail... okay. That allows... if you can make... Actually, let's look that one up. My apologies. Let me see if I wrote it down here. College of Whispers. Unbreakable Majesty. 14th level, your appearance permanently gains an otherworldly aspect, making you more lovely and fierce. Okay, and it is in addition, a bonus action, you can assume a majestical presence. Okay, so it lets you assume a majestic presence for a minute, and for that duration, when a creature tries to attack you for the first time, they have to make a charisma saving throw or they can't attack you. So basically Sanctuary, it's adding kind of like a Sanctuary spell type effect on you. And even if it passes that save, they still have disadvantage on any saving throw against your spells on your next turn. So that is a pretty useful 14th level ability, and it's good that it does last a whole minute. So that'll last a whole combat, and that could really mess some creatures up from trying to attack you. So that one's not too bad. And the Swords Bard gets Master's Flourish. You can use a D6 instead of using your Bardic Inspiration whenever you want to do one of your sword flourishes. Sword Flourish? Yeah. So one of your flourish abilities. So normally the College of Swords Bard would have to use their inspiration die on themselves to use the combat flourish. Damn, I really should remember these, huh? Blade Flourish, that's it. Wording. To use one of their blade flourishes. But at 14th level, they can just use a D6. Instead of taking your higher dice, you can use a D6 anytime for this. So essentially making it infinite. You will always be able to use a blade flourish when you attack. So I think that is that's fantastic. Even though it's not that powerful, but it allows you to use that function all the time. So you can use your actual bardic inspiration on other people to help them, as you normally would with other bard classes. So I think that's very useful. Getting to use your Bardic Inspiration functions without actually having to expend the die, even if it's only a d6, it's still useful. So I think they did good on that one. As far as the College of Whisper, you get Shadow Lore. You get to... let's look in there. Bring her on. Okay. With Shadow Lore, it allows you to, whisper a secret phrase into someone 30 feet from you, and you're basically whispering something so that they know that you know their deepest, darkest secret. It's a charm, essentially, but they won't like attack for you or anything like that. But they will act as though you're their friend because they don't want you to tell anyone this deep, dark secret about them. That can be really useful. It's a 14th level ability. I don't know how I feel about it. I think it's very cool and thematic for the College of Whispers, but it's not one of my favorite out of the lot. But yeah, not too bad. So I do like the performance of creation, but again, not one of the top tier ones for me. So that is a look at the College of Creation Bard, and I'm going to take a look at the other two subclasses here soon, do their own separate videos. I don't want these to be too long, but I want to do a deep comparison. Let me know what you think, and I guess I'm going to start doing all these Unearthed Arcana reviews as long as you guys are enjoying them, and I'll try to improve. This is my first one. I'll try to improve on them as best I can. I need your feedback for that, so slap a like, subscribe, you want to see some more stuff. And yeah, until next time, have a wonderful, wonderful day. See ya.